I loved being at the university. I really liked the university for many reasons. Like, I assume most of you are technical people from, well, now Aalto University. So you think the university people are like these theoretical nerds that are useless for any real work. I love the abstract side of the computer science at Helsinki University, which is very different from, I think, the computer science here at TKK or Aalto. I loved Spectrum. The only time I really was over here was when we were in the pink coveralls and ran around drinking beer. I was a TA at university. I did a stint for half a year or a year in the Henry Thetis research group. It was interesting, and it means that, yes, it took me like 9 years to get a master's degree, which...
You were pretty fast then.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to be faster. I will say that it wasn't quite 9 years, I think it was 8.5. One of the years was literally me forcing myself to write the thesis. I had everything ready, and I'm one of there's a lot of people like that. I know I've heard other people have exactly the same issue, that you have everything done and the only thing you have left is the writing of your final thesis. And one of the impetus for actually moving to the US was when I got a job offer, I was saying, okay, this will finally force me to do my thesis, because I refused to leave that university half done. So I actually didn't get the papers from Helsinki University until after I already moved to the US, but I had finalized everything. I enjoyed the university life, and I did a lot of different things. And for those of you who are young enough to still be studying, hey, enjoy the hell out of that time, because it was some of my favorite time.
Oh, can I ask a continuation on that? Why didn't you follow the academic side any further?
Oh, it's easy. You noticed I had trouble writing my thesis? I loved being at the university, but I hate writing papers. I'm not actually bad at it. I think I am a reasonably good writer. I have a hard time getting started. When I write something, I want to have like a point to my writing. I want it to flow. And if I don't see exactly how I get from the beginning to the end and make it all make sense, I can't get started, or I have a very hard time getting started. And quite frankly, if you don't like writing papers, you should not stay at the university. And I mean, I realized that and said, it had been I used to think that I would be a scientist and stay at university. And I realized, no, I just don't like writing papers. I don't really like teaching. I have to go to the industry. And I loved going to a startup. So if any of you ever get the chance, startups that are early in their startup career, when they're still doing the early technical stuff and they do not see where it's going and everybody's really gung-ho, are absolutely a wonderful work experience. I was at Transmeta for 7 years, and 5 of those years were wonderful. And then when the IPO was getting closer, it suddenly changed from not being so much about the technology, and suddenly you had to worry about customers, and you had to worry about money and IPO issues, and suddenly it wasn't fun anymore. I stayed on for a while, and then I said, no, this is not what I signed up for.
Just a quick last question. Did you get any support for Linux from the university, and would you have liked some?
I did, and there's a Finnish saying, and I don't remember the saying, but there's a Finnish saying that you should not stand up because you get cut down. What's the saying? Okay, I'm sure there is, because I've heard actual Finnish people ask me that, wasn't it uncomfortable to stand out? Didn't people try to put you down and try to make you part of the same gray mass as everybody else? And I had absolutely the reverse experience at Helsinki University. It wasn't like they were. There was not a lot of special support, but all the people were very happy about me running my experimental stuff on the university network, and they were really happy when we did as just an example, a small detail, when we did the 1.0 release in 94 or something, the university wanted to give us the big main auditorium at the computer science building, and everybody was really nice, and there was a lot of, the computer science department got an alpha-based machine because they realized I was porting Linux to the alpha, and they thought this is an interesting project. There was actually a lot of support. That it wasn't like official support, but within the computer science department, I think people in general were really nice, and the whole, sure, it was odd. Everybody inside the university realized how odd it was that something practical came out of the computer science lab. But at the same time, it was like, that's cool. I didn't know we could do that. So it was fun. I really liked Helsinki University. I'm sure I would have liked TF too, but I had a great time at Helsinki University.
Great. Although you said you're really technical person and you're interested in programming, and you're not interested in some of the stuffs like user interface and other stuffs, but whatever you say kind of influences quite a lot on all those fields. For instance, you said you didn't really like GNOME 3 interface, and people are all going like, whoa, Linus says, GNOME 3 is crap and something like that. So how do you feel about your influence in those kind of fields that you're not interested in?
So sometimes I'm a bit upset that people take what I say a bit too seriously. And then 5 minutes later I said, screw that, I don't care, right? I like that people take me seriously, but at the same time I refuse to then let that mean that I don't say what I mean. I've always wanted to be very honest in my statements. I use strong language on the internet to the point where some people feel offended, and that's their problem. I actually think that especially in a community like open source, other developers need to know how I feel about things. I'm impolite because I'm impolite. I'm not making excuses for that. But I also actually believe that when you work with a lot of people, it's better to be really open about your feelings so that you don't have people who, by mistake, misread you. I've had that happen. I have literally had developers who were working on things that I didn't really like, but I didn't shut down early enough. They worked on it for a long time. They felt that it was ready. They submitted it to me, and I said, no, this is horrible, because at that point I had to make a decision. And in at least one of those cases, I had some other friends basically email me later and saying the guy is suicidal, right? And that's not my fault, but at the same time, if I'm open early on and saying, hey, this is going down a direction that I don't like, I think that's actually healthier for everybody involved, instead of me stringing people along and trying to be polite. So partly it's my personality. I am blunt, and I am from Finland, and I tell people what I feel like. But partly it's actually a conscious choice to say, no, I'm not going to tone it down just because somebody might be hurt.
Thank you.
Interesting.